Welcome in, Bazooka Joe family. Today we teach you how to use eBay to comp all of your cards, whether it be sports cards, Pokemon, Magic, non-sports cards, any type of cards you're looking for. We are going to teach you how to look up the value of your cards, whether you are a buyer or seller, and more importantly, we're going to teach you how not to get ripped off. If you're an experienced seller, we're going to give some advice on how to price your cards so that you don't lose business. So let's get into it. Today we are going to show you how to find the values of your sports cards. First one I have up for line here is a 1990 Pro Set Emmitt Smith rookie card. So anytime you want to find the value of anything, again, our examples are going to be sports cards because it's what we deal in mostly. You're going to put in as much information as you can. Normally, when I put cards in, I normally put the year, the set. And again, if anybody's unfamiliar with cards, there's always like a production line that tells you the year. It also tells you the set, but a lot of times it's got it stamped on it. And then dependent upon how common the name is, you might have to put in the whole name. I normally just put in the last name, unless it's a common name. And then the card number. And that's usually plenty for what you need. All right. Then we're going to look at the values. Now, you need to understand when you first put this in and do the search, this is not what things are sold for. It's not what they're valued at. Okay, this is what people are trying to sell them for and are asking for it. As for example, now, and also before we get too far, I need to explain that there's a difference between ungraded and graded cards, which we will explain later. But you'll see the extreme difference. Here's one up for bid for $20. Again, if it's been on auction for a couple days and has 0 bids, it could just be because nobody's seen it, but most of the time it's very often that it's just too high. And then you have a card asking $300 for the same exact card. Now, there are exceptions where that could apply. The same $250 card up there is $2.50 here. $2 here. Again, these are beginning bids, so we don't actually want to go by bids. But, okay. Now, the only time you ever really want to use asking prices for cards is if they don't have any sale prices. Sale prices are what dictates the market. That is what we call comps. Don't pay too much attention to the asking prices unless it's a rare card where there's very few of, and those are the only ones. So what you want to do when you want to actually find the value of a card, over here on your left side, you're going to scroll down and you're going to make sure that the sold is clicked. And you also want to make sure that completed is clicked. It does it automatically whenever you hit sold, and I'm going to explain why a little later. Now, these are what the cards have actually sold for in recent history. As long as you have a decent amount of history, you want to check approximately the last month. If you only have a handful, you might have to go back maybe 3 months, but those are for rare cards that don't sell much. Now you can see the actual value of these. $2.25, $2, $4, $1.36. Again, we're going to skip the graded card. We're going to go over that later. $1.90, 99 cents, $3. So, all right, and we can keep scrolling, but you can see a general pattern. So it's safe to assume that this card goes on average from 99 cents up to $3. Okay, you can continue looking. There might be one or two that are higher, but again, when you see prices over and over again, that's safe to assume that that is the general value of it, from $1 to $3, basically. And that's what you could expect. If you wanted to move it quickly, you can put it up for $1. If you wanted to wait and get top value for it, you get $3. Now, you could look through I don't want to make the video too long. You can go through the list and try to find a high value. But again, when you get multiple sales that are the same price over and over again, it's safe to assume that that is the value of the current value of the card. And again, if you're willing to wait, you can actually find the highest value as long as it's not a shill bid, which we're about to explain in a minute. One of my wife's paintings, she was really excited, and she decided to decorate my backdrop. My son's Darth Vader helmet. We're going to show you the shill bidding so that you don't get ripped off. So say you come in here and you see 20 or 30 bids from $1 to $3, and then all of a sudden there's one bid for $50. Okay. What Often, unfortunately, what that is what they call shill bidding, where actually what somebody will do, it's normally on more expensive cards. You're not going to find it on common cards like this. It's normally on more rarer and more expensive cards. You're not normally going to find it on common cards like this that sell a lot. And what that is when somebody has a rare card or an expensive card, what they will do is they will have a friend or somebody they know come in, put in a hugely high bid that is way over market value, and then that person won't pay for it. And the reason they do that is now they will relist the card, and people that don't know better are going to look at the bids, and they're going to see that, they have a card that's numbered to 500, and it's an RPA of a popular player. It goes for $500 on a regular basis. They'll put one up and have their friend bid $1,000, but then the friend won't pay for it, and they'll relist the card. Well, now somebody that doesn't know better thinks that the value's $1,000 and not $500, and they're going to pay a lot more for that card. So just if you see a long history where the prices are consistent, and then all of a sudden there's one really large bid that doesn't match them all, make sure you check and make sure that that was actually paid for, and it's not a fake bid. And another easy way to tell is make sure a lot of times if you see it relisted, a lot of times it's a numbered card or it's got some identification number on it, and you'll see it listed almost immediately after the large sale again. That's a very easy way to tell that that was a fake bid. It's a shill bid. That is how you find the value of a base card. So let's move on to, there are other cards where you actually have different values, and we're going to use this example here where this is a numbered card. So we have this. Last time I priced this, it was $18. So this is a 2021 Prestige. I'm going to go right up here, show you what I put in. So 2021 Prestige Mahomes, number 91. And again, if you wanted to get more details, you can put the whole name in. You can put in more. The more information you put in, the better off you are. But again, usually the year, the company least part of their name, unless they got a common name that matches a lot of people, and then the card number is normally more than enough for what I use almost every day. You can see this is the base version of it. And again, they're probably going to be at the same price, $1.59, $1.69, $1.69, $1.69, $1. So again, this card is valued about between $1 and $1.75 price range. This card is numbered. Okay, there's going to be different versions of it. There's going to be a number to 1, a number to 3, a number to 5, a number to 49, a number to 99. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that print run, which is right here. So again, we just added the numbered to 249, and we went down below and clicked the sold and made sure that that extra button was clicked, and now we're going to see the values of it. So again, the last time I priced this, the high market value was 18, so as you can see, it's pretty consistent. The last sale was 15, 14. Now see, Carol said these aren't numbered. Okay, so it looks like those are the only two pretty recent sales. So current value is about $14 or $15. And again, when I priced this a couple of months ago, there was probably right around the same market, but there was probably one sale that was as high as 18. So whenever you have a base card, again, you can go by the whole list. When you're going by numbered cards or short prints, make sure, and any parallels, make sure you're checking for that particular type of card so you don't undervalue yourself. Okay, we already talked about shill building. Let's go to another scam, which is error cards. I'm just going to pull up a really 1990 Topps, one of the most common error cards that we know of. Topps, Frank Thomas error. As you can see, this is the actual error. Now, there's a couple things you got to understand about errors. Errors or cards are only worth more when they were fixed. If the entire set ran and the error was not fixed, it's not any more valuable than the base card. What makes an error valuable is the fact that it was fixed, and the error is a short run or there wasn't very many of them. For example, this is something that was caught relatively early, and then they fixed it and added the name. So now the only place you find these cards is basically the first boxes or cases that it came off are the ones that have the actual error on it. All right, so here is an example of not only somebody trying to take advantage of somebody being error. This is an absolute scam. So this says 1988 Topps Bo Jackson error card, 2 red dots above the red foot. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you know the 80s is what was called, quote unquote, the junk wax error. Cards were literally printed as fast as the print presses could run. There was very low quality control. This is an absolute lie. This is not an error. An error card is they missed the name, they put the wrong name, they put the wrong picture, things like that. The Billy Ripken F face on the bat, but then they later covered it over. That's the example of an error. This is poor quality control. If you go through 80s cards that were just running for 24 hours a day, there's all kinds of printing bad spots. That's all this is. So this, not only is this not an error, this is literally a bad spot on the card. So now, if all the cards have bad spots like that, it's not worth anymore. If they don't, then this card is actually worth less. Cards like this are an absolute scam. Anytime it says that there's some kind of spot or mark or color or something on these cards, they are absolute scams. They are not even errors. Next thing I want to tell you about is patch cards. Patch cards, you find the values of them the same way. Again, make sure you're paying attention to the number cards. But there are some patch cards that are worth more than others. So I just grabbed a couple of baseball RPAs here. Okay, and if you notice these, if you look at these patches, they're one solid color. That's what's referred to as a napkin. Okay, it's just a common term, but basically it's a one color patch. Right? So whenever you're buying any type of patch cards, normal cards, you have to just go by the type of card and the print run. When you're looking at something like this, you have to take into effect that if you look at this is what they call napkin. People will pay more for cooler looking cards. So, see, like this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors in it and multiple stripes. Then you got ones like this where it's actually like the lettering and the name or the number. So if you had 2 identical cards, okay, the same player, the same print run, the same type of card, numbered the same amount, but it had a multicolor patch in it, it would be worth worth a pretty good chunk more. Obviously, stuff like this is high in demand. Other times you get, players' names, their numbers. So anytime you have multiple colors on a patch, that's going to make it more. So anytime you're looking for a patch card, make sure when you're looking up the value of the card, you're also looking at what the patch looks like. Hey, everybody, we appreciate every single one of you. Hey, I need you to understand every single YouTuber on here puts in so much work and so much dedication to what we do every day. Those thumbs up are a huge help. Any YouTuber you see out there, if you like their videos, give them a thumbs up. The subscribers are a huge help. It pays back everything that we do. And leave the comments down below. All right. This channel is about you guys. We have a long list of videos we want to make. If you guys let us know the type of stuff you guys want to see, we'll make sure that's a priority for you guys. Let us know in the comments what you learned from this. Let us know if it helped you out. Hey, if we're doing anything wrong, please let us know. We definitely want to do this as much as we can help you guys. So if there's any advice you have, we're definitely willing to listen. Other thing that is going to affect the price of a card is its condition. For the most part, modern day, if it's not in near mint or mint condition, they're kind of hard to sell, and it's kind of hard to evaluate them because nowadays everybody knows to take the cards and put them in sleeves right away. Vintage is mostly where this applies to. So whenever you're looking at prices, you're going to have to actually look at the card that you have, Look at what kind of condition it is. Look at the corners. Does it have marks on it? Does it have bends in it? Does it have cracks in it? And you're going to have to you might have to go through a whole list and actually look at all the pictures and figure out what condition the card is in and use those prices. This section we are going to review is graded cards. So there are 3 major manufacturers out there that are commonly accepted, and that is PSA, CSG, and Beckett. Okay, these are the market leaders. There are a lot of other companies coming out, but for the most part, these are the market leaders. Now, PSA has kind of dominated the market for a while. These other 2 companies have been around for a pretty good amount. That's why they're commonly accepted. But whenever you're looking up prices, you actually have to look up the price by that company. In general, a lot of times PSA is going to get more value. Okay. But again, you have to look it up. So if you're looking up a 1987 Barry Bonds Mint 9, you have to look at the PSAs, if that's what you have in your hand. If you have a Joe Burrow 2020 Sage All-Rookie Team, you have to look at the Beckett price for a near mint or better 9. Okay, so when you're looking up the price of slabs or graded cards, make sure you're not only looking up the card, but make sure you're looking up the company. Another good note is all these companies come with ID numbers. Anytime you're buying a card, you should be able to go to the website, whether it's Beckett or PSA, look up these ID numbers and verify that it is the actual card. In today's modern age, we got so many scams. We have people cutting what they'll do is they'll take a Gem Mint 10, they'll send it for grading, then they'll cut the slab apart, put a lower quality card in there, reseal it, and then send the PSA 10 out, and then they're selling what is probably an 8 or a 9, and they're selling it for the price of a 10. So again, make sure you just check your slabs, make sure the seals are solid, and make sure it doesn't look like they've been interfered with. And anytime you're doing anything, especially when you're doing high end, make sure that the numbers match the actual card. There are a lot of other companies out there. GMA. What's this one? International Sports Authority, FGA. So there is a lot of grading companies out there, but again, when you're looking at the values, make sure you're checking the values for the company, not only for the card itself. Last subject we're going to talk about, how to price your card to sell so that you're not losing business. Those of you that know me, I go to a lot of card shows, a lot in the area. I talk to a lot of people. This is my personal opinion. I talk to a lot of people. And when I see good dealers and when I see what I think are bad dealers, I stop and talk to people. I'm telling you right now, if your table is set up so your cards are double comps, you're not going to get a lot of business. I've gone up to dealers at shows where every single one of their cards is double, triple comps, and you might get 1 or 2 sales at double comps, but you've probably lost about 50 sales. I am not saying you can't price cards over comps. I price cards over comps, but I know the market very well. You have to know what's hot, you have to know what's in demand, and you have to know what cards people are going to pay more for. Normally what I do is my cards that are, everyday cards, I price at comps or just slightly over. If there's something a little higher, I will price them a little higher, but almost all my cards are at or slightly above comps. If I walk up to a dealer's table and I see that most of their cards are at or near comps, but a couple are heavy, usually what I'm going to assume is that the ones that are over comps are probably old prices and they haven't updated them recently. And I'm definitely going to have a conversation. If I walk up to your table and all your prices are double, triple comps, I'm not going to try to talk to you to try to negotiate you, because I'm thinking that basically I'm going to be trying to negotiate you down to what I should be paying for cards anyway. And like I said, I've talked to a lot of people, when I see dealers, and I think this is what a majority of the people think. eBay prices are a guide. They are not the law. You have every right to overprice your cards. But again, make sure you're doing it smartly. If you're just overpricing everything, you're going to lose 75-80% of the people are just going to walk past your table and not even want to talk to you because they think if everything is overpriced, they think that they're going to be trying to negotiate just to get down to the maximum of what they should be paying anyway. So know your market, know what you can mark up, know what's in demand, and again, your sale of that card will be setting new high comps. Thanks everybody for everything, and we will talk to you soon. See you on the next one.